This video is going to walk you through the installation of brand new TEQ Customs Retrofit headlights. We have step-by-step directions on the website too, so you can print those out after you watch the video. The tools and parts you need are listed in the description below. Well, here's the stock headlights that are on my 2003 Toyota Tacoma pre-runner. There's two screws we need to take off to first start disassembling the grille and get the lights out. One on either side. Now you can pull the side lights out. There's some tabs on them that get stuck up there, so be careful. Here's one of them when you take these off. Using a nylon pry tool, you can get these lower light trim panels off. Now we can start to take the grille off. There's 7 clips that hold the front grille in. You need a small screwdriver to push down on the tabs inside here to start to loosen those up. The ones on the top are pretty easy to get to. The one in the middle here on the bottom you can get in, but the two on the sides here are a little tricky unless you have a little helper to help you out like I did with small hands. Alright, once that's out, you can pull it straight off. Just make sure it doesn't get stuck around the lights. Now with the 10mm socket, you can take these two nuts off the side of the headlamp. And up at the top, there's a 10mm bolt that needs to come out. Pull the lights straight out. And with gentle pressure, you can release this wiring harness. There's no clip to press. You just need to wiggle it around and it'll come off. Now go over to the other side and do the same thing. Get that light off. The headlights we ordered from TEQ Customs come with an RGB controller. This is what it looks like. With this, we can change the color of the halos. It's the first thing we're going to wire up. It'll live on the driver's side behind the front headlight. Okay, so we got to get some power to this controller. We're going to do that by tapping the red and black wires on the RGB controller into the green and white with black stripe wire on the side light. To make this easier, I'm going to use these low voltage wire splice connectors. Product description below. So you put the single end on the wire, and to squeeze it down, I find it helpful to use a pair of pliers to lock that in. And then you put the dual part on the wire you want to tap and squeeze it on. That's it, you're done. Piece of cake. Now get the black wire onto the white wire with the black stripe from the truck. The next step is extending the length of the turn signal power wires. The ones that come on the RGB controller are too short, so you'll need to use some 18 gauge wire. I got some in yellow, and 18 gauge butt connectors, and tap into those two wires, because you got to go down into the bumper and tap behind the turn signal light in the bumper. Tap the green wire. Now measure out the length you'll need for the passenger side light. Get it lined up, put your connectors on, but don't tap it just yet. You'll want to run this wire in the conduit with the other cables going across the truck, and then you can tap it in later. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to remove the ground bolt here next to the battery, and we're going to start wiring up the H4 harness. So on the H4 harness, there's a 9006 connector with a ground wire and a ring terminal on the end. We're going to attach that ground ring terminal to the ground of the truck next to the battery. Next, locate the red power wire with the fuse that also has a ring terminal on it. We're going to connect that to the positive terminal on the battery. The H4 harness is a long cable which runs over to the other side of the truck. Tuck that in behind the light. Our light set came with these two connectors attached to a 9006 female plug, which goes between the light and the wiring harness. Get that plugged in. And now we're going to wire up this ground with this terminal ring. There's a bolt on the top of the fender here where we're going to attach the ground. I used a little Brillo pad to scrape the paint off. You can put a little dielectric grease on there too. Just screw it down and attach it for now. I wired up this other harness and we'll just stuff that back there for now. Now we'll get to that same harness on the driver's side. Plug in these connectors. Now let's connect everything up to the light and get this driver's side light installed. These are the connectors to the high beams. Get the nuts on the side, tighten them down, and attach the bolt on the front top. Now let's get to the left-hand side. Let's wire up these connectors, these leads. This is the high beam plug. Let's get that connected to the inside harness. And let's bolt up this light. Get it secured. 10mm bolt on the top, 2 nuts on the side. Alright, what we haven't connected yet is the turn signal indicator harness for the lights. There's 2 of them and they're interchangeable. Test them before you secure everything down. Make sure you've got the wire going to the right side, otherwise you can switch them out real easy. Once you have those wired up correctly, then run conduit to cover all the exposed wires, and you can tuck the harness up underneath the frame here in front of the radiator. You can see what I did, and then tape everything down. Make sure that it's all secure. You don't want bare wires rubbing against metal. That's how you can get a short circuit. Now you can tap the turn signal wire for the passenger side and cover it with conduit. It's time to put the grill back on. Do yourself a favor and get replacement clips. They're cheap. The old ones are probably going to break when you try to put the grill back on, so have them on hand. You have to connect those clips to the body first, and then you push the grill on top of it. Do one at a time, and it'll snap into place. Make sure you get all 7 connection points. Now put the lower headlight trim back on, put your side lights back on, and screw it down. Here's what our new headlights look like. TEQ Customs has all kinds of varieties of lights that you can choose, all kinds of different options. These are the ones that we went with. You can see a little bit more about it on the article on our website, what specific options we chose. But we went with the LED lights, nice and bright. Once you get the lights installed, you can make some adjustments to the beam pattern up and down, left and right. You want to measure from the ground into the middle of the LED bulb. Have the truck about 10 feet away from the wall, and you want the top of the light pattern to be about 2 inches below that first measurement, the middle of the light you just took. Use a 10mm wrench on this part of the light to make the adjustments for left and right. You'll need a 4mm wrench to make adjustments to this screw terminal here on the light. This will give you the up and down adjustments. It takes a lot of turning to make a significant distance, so be patient. There you go. The difference between the TEQ Customs lights and the original OEM ones is night and day. Literally. If you also want to upgrade the output of your backup lights, we replaced ours with halogen bulbs. Check out our video. It shows you how to do that. $20 upgrade. Easy. That's it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. We'll do our best to answer them for you. And be sure to visit the TacomaGuy.com for more tutorials.